Hey guys, it's Nick with Chestnut Hills Farmstead. It is all hands on deck today on the farm. It's the end of Daddy's farm vacation. I've been off for a week from work just to get things done around here, and it's time to wrap up. So everybody's here today, and we've got some updating to do and gonna talk about some of the things that have been happening on the farm. Now, we have already been wide open this morning. We took down the fencing around where we had the cows for a little while. They had a lot of shade, a lot of good grazing right here. They just kept trying to get over there with the donkeys. So we put them back over there, especially Ferdinand. I don't know what his fascination with that is, but he wanted to be over there. So we moved them back, and we took this fence down today. We got the alpaca pasture cut. It is looking much better. So in case you missed that, we had moved them back into the area where they used to be. They had grown up. They had good grazing in there. We moved their shelter and water over there and just had them there temporarily until we got their pasture cut. Little tip that we received from some people that have a little bit more experience, or a lot more experience with alpacas than we do, said that they might have been concerned about those areas that had high grass. Now, we had part of it cut for good grazing, but there was some areas that the grass was a little higher, and they said alpacas were kind of funny about places where predators could hide. So we went ahead and got their whole pasture cut. We're going to move them back over today and get some more cutting done just for cleaning up. Zoe, right now, is cutting around the bees. Thankfully, she got a little more comfortable with that big tractor while I had pneumonia, and she was having to try to take care of the whole place because Nick doesn't do bees. So she's got on her bee suit. Let's check in with her real quick, and then we'll talk about what we're going to have going on and really a tough season that we've had here at Chestnut Hills Farmstead.
So we've been really trying to get some of this bush hogging done and things cut down, and today we're tackling around the bees. Miss Tanya's come and she's weed eated, so now it's our turn to come in with the tractor and clean up around the bees, and we're going to try and tackle that hillside where we used to have the cows, where y'all also know as our future home spot. So let's get busy so we can get all this gear off, because it is hot. Okay, it's pretty grown up, so it's time to tackle all of this right here. Let's knock it out, guys. All right, so as you can see, got the bees all cleaned up. Now it's time to tackle the rest of this hillside. But we had to strip off all the bee suit because it's so warm. We don't want to get too hot, right? So it's time to get busy. It's getting a little overcast, so we're gonna take advantage of that while we can.
Well, at least she's got the cover over that tractor, because I'm kind of stealing some shade right now too. You can see the trees behind me, and you can probably hear it on the mic that there's a little bit of a breeze, and it is blistering hot this week. It has been brutal. So thankfully we both got a little bit of an opportunity to be out of the sun for a minute, but we're about to have to get back in it. So I'm trying to use up what shade I can to tell you what's been going on. You see old Farmer Rhett been sweating. He's been working.
Yeah.
Which means don't report us for him being on the tractor. He's just sitting here. It's off and it's sitting still. He's just sitting with me a minute. Yeah. We don't want to end up back in YouTube jail. So we have a lot of new people with us. Thanks to Cog Hill and helping them out with a job we had last week. So for the ones that are new and don't know, it's been a tough season here on the farm. We had 2 white peacocks, or a peacock and a peahen. Zoe is still hopeful that the peahen is on a nest somewhere. I'm not so hopeful. I think that they probably left. We had them in an enclosure for a long time before you start sending comments about that. They were used to being on the farm, but I just could not hold them in that enclosure any longer. And we've got Jason and Brooke that have been out forever, and they were staying right with them. So I was pretty confident in letting them out. And they did stay close by for a couple of days, but after that, we haven't seen them again. So we may have lost them.
They probably either went in the woods or they're just hiding in the tall grass.
That's what Mama's hoping. So anyway, Brooke had a clutch of 5 babies. Uh-oh. Don't do that. Brooke, the joys of filming with Farmer Rhett. So Brooke had a clutch of 5 eggs hatch, and we knew she had hatched all 5 babies. We saw them. We tried to leave her alone with that, and the first day we noticed there were only 4. Then there were only 3. So we decided to step in, and we caught the babies. We put them in a brooder. I like to think that some of the suggestions might have been fact, but Jack broke into the barn where the brooders are and got the doors of the brooder open, and the babies were gone. And a lot of people suggested, well, maybe there was a predator in there and he was after the predator. Well, I would like to think that, instead of thinking that he's just being a delinquent. But either way, those babies were gone. So Zoe still had an egg from Oakley, the white peahen. We decided we'd give it a shot, and we put it in the incubator. And that's what led her to believe she may have gone somewhere and got on a nest. But she was laying, and the minute we turned her out, she flew in the tall grass and laid down. So we put one of those eggs in the incubator. We noticed it pipping one afternoon. The following morning, we get to the incubator. Pea-chick did not survive. It made it completely out of the shell, but it didn't survive. Now that was really starting to weigh on us. Now we understand that that's just part of it and the way it goes sometimes, and all the other cliche things that people say about farming. We realize that there's going to be loss, but this was a season that was heavy with it. I think the hardest one on Zoe was we lost Itty Bitty this week. So she was the other bottle baby that was at home with Fancy. And she took her bottle one morning, just as she always did, wide open, both of them feeding just as fast as they could feed. And you have to take it out of their mouth so they don't drink too much too fast. And she just started acting like she was feeling bad. So we were in contact with the vet, had several different things we tried. We gave her some Colace and Pedialyte. So she would pick back up a little bit, but kept going down, and it was finally time to just take her. No more talking back and forth with the vet. It's time for him to see her. And it just didn't do any good. He didn't know what could have caused it. The way she had been acting, there was nothing that would have shown us that. And naturally, he tried to make us feel better. He said, look, goats don't always give you signs and symptoms. You just don't see it, and it just happens. Well, it's never been an acceptable answer to us, as it just happens. I know, yes, things do happen, but that doesn't make it easier. And that was Zoe's lap baby. You know, she had been doing well, and then at 3 weeks old, she just takes a turn. That one's been a little hard to deal with. So
it was Mama's favorite.
It was Mama's favorite. But, you know, it was a tough season. It's hard enough to try to do all this when both of you are working. You're trying to keep up with everything. Now we're trying to do the social media for the farm, and you're filming all the stuff you're doing. And then you have to figure out how you're going to tell people that these babies they see born are dying. Just a tough season on the farm. But it was just one of those seasons, you know, when you start the spring, that's the starting of new life on the farm. And that's our favorite time, is when everything's blooming and we have babies being born, and we go into the summer, and now it's time to cut the gardens down and stop fighting weeds, stop fighting the heat. It's time for everything to wrap up, and we're coming out of this season of loss, and it's somewhat disheartening that this was the season we had. But we're not going anywhere. We're going to bounce back from all of it. We've got some major fencing projects in the next couple of weeks where we can get some more animals moved around. This season, the potager is going to be completely redone. We've changed our view on that and how we want to do it. So all of that's being changed. We just got a lot going on, and we hope you're going to stick around with us for that. Let's get back to work. All right, everybody right now is in a feeding frenzy. Chance is going to handle dogs. We got the goats eating. Mike just got back from alpacas and birds. Everybody's in a frenzy because our buddy at Campfire and Countryside just released a scavenger hunt video. And we've decided that this video is going to take a turn, and that's where we're going today. Everybody in the shade eating. Oh, little pretty babies. Now, I told you I was off all week, and with the exception of about a day and a half of this week, I've been on the farm every day trying to get things caught up, getting gardens cleaned up, doing some mowing in the pasture, cutting limbs, things like that really just not much to put on video. So we got everybody out here today trying to get everything finished up, and Zoe was just talking about how hot she was on the tractor. It was, even with that cover over, the heat index today is probably around 102, 103. We've seen them as high as 115 to 118 this week. It's just been brutally hot. So we're going to shift gears and do something that not quite as hot and a little bit more fun. Kids are about to start back at school, so let's take you along and see if we can find the prizes left by Mr. Tony at Campfire and Countryside.
There's our first clue.
I think we found our second clue. I think we might have found a spot. We have a little fire pit here. And we have some very freshly burned wood. I don't know if that was Mr. Tony's, but it's very fresh. So we're about to be on the hunt. Now you need to go check out Campfire and Countryside's channel, because that's what got us a break from the farm today. Was he does scavenger hunts when he goes on a camping trip. He leaves something out, and you have to watch his videos to get the tips and the hints and go find what he left. His first one, he did his stealth camping under a bridge, and I knew exactly where he was, but he left a wristband, and I have a wristband. But this has got a little something better, and the kids wanted to come find it, so let's go see if we can find it.
Okay, so we've all separated, and we are looking for a brown Skittles container. I wonder if Mr. Tony knows how much I love him for... Oh, there's something moving over here. For me getting out here in these woods.
So the clue was 38 to 40 steps from the fire hydrant. I think I went the wrong direction because I just heard Zoe yelling. I think Zoe found it. I heard all the hooping and hollering and everybody kind of converged on it. But Zoe found the brown jar. Let me get that pulled out. Let's see what's in it.
I am.
Brett, you can open it.
Okay.
I'm glad that's not me.
Let me open it.
All right. Let Red open it up and let's see what's in it. Let's see which reel you found. Ooh. There's a crankbait.
We got the green one.
Oh my gosh, you got the green one.
Yeah.
I am so glad. Now let me tell you why.
Wow.
This green colored ambassador, I've got about 20 of these, but I do not have the green. Vintage VXL 5000C. But that green, I do not have. And it's a little more rare. Now, just to be fair, let me get where the sun's not shining in the camera. Do y'all see that? Oh, that's beautiful. So, I probably got 20 to 25 of these ambassadors. But, that being more rare and us trying to be fair, I found the spot. I knew where he was from the first couple of clues, or thought we did. And I'm not going to get both of these prizes. We may go see if we can find the other one just for fun, but I'm going to leave it laying there. So I was really hoping we would find the green one, and that's the one that Zoe found. You found you a green reel.
I did. Now I got to learn how to fish.
And a new crankbait. Now I've got to teach her how to cast that because she's worked on it before, but not a lot. But we found one. Let's go see if we can find the other one just for fun.
Just for fun. Okay.
Just for fun, but I'm going to leave it there. And this video is not coming out till tomorrow morning. So hopefully somebody's on it. But I beat his old buddy Urban Mouse to the green one. All right. We got out of that glaring sun. Let's take a look at what we've got here. So we've got the reel that we showed you. Look at that pretty green. I like that. We've got a lipless crankbait. Tourney Special from Bass Pro Shops. And we've got one of these, but it's okay to have another. This is from Campfire and Countryside. And it says, don't get caught at home. We've got a Campfire and Countryside sticker. There she is. That's a nice little scavenger hunt. All right, what was the other landmark we were looking for?
2 orange signs.
At what?
At the gate. At the gate.
Of the 3-rail wooden fence.
Yeah.
Well, there's a 3-rail wooden fence.
I see it.
And we see the gate with the orange signs. We're going to sneak up here, just see if we can find the other one. And we're going to leave it sitting right where it is. Go, Rhett. I think he said it was within 20 feet.
There it is.
Well, thankfully we had somebody that saved us a little bit of sweating, because somebody else from Campfire and Countryside's viewers pulled up and said, are y'all looking for Tony's reel? I said, we are. I said, we already got that one. The scavenger hunt's over, but we enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun. We got one of them.
Got the one you wanted.
I got the one we wanted. And we were hoping to find the other one, just take some video of it, maybe send a picture of it to Tony and leave it till somebody else found it. But it was actually found before we got over there.
And they were looking for this one.
And they had come looking for this one while we kind of passed each other. So y'all make sure you go and check out Campfire and Countryside. Maybe the next scavenger hunt you can get in on. I know it was a little different again today. You know, my last video was a little different. I ain't been on the farm on video in a week. We appreciate you being with us on Chestnut Hills Farmstead. I promise the next video will be at the farm.